chat going. How do I get the actual video? I'm going to go to the video. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Let me see if it's... I need to share the video with my Patreons first. And this will allow people to like jump on too, you know?
Yeah, I already messaged Telegram, by the way, about an hour ago, and then I gave him an update like 10 minutes ago. So we should probably go live soon.
Patreon. All right. That way they know. Because they were asking me to get notified.
Yeah, we're live. That's working. I see chat rolling.
All right. Live stream April 1st. All right, so get rid of that because that's going live. Everybody's here. Yo, yo, yo. Okay. And so we are good. Let's go to... All right, so the first thing we're doing is charting everything. Let me go ahead. Ian, I'm about to throw you up there. Hello, 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 everyone. I don't know if you heard me on that first monitor, but here we go. Welcome to Intrepid Games. Live, 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 baby. We're going to start with charting the markets and checking out where the status of our favorite projects. And Ian, take it over. We're starting with Bitcoin, right?
Yes, sir. Well,
Let's
just
do
kind of
Bitcoin
the
first.
market in general. We're going to start nice and zoomed out here. Good macro perspective. Everybody hear me all right? We got Elvis. Elvis O says, hello, guru.
I think the screen changed.
Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, so we have BTC Dominance trying to break down. I mean, even in the last few hours, we've had this breakdown. I mean, we were, we'll see here, last couple days, few days back since 22, we've been holding some support in the higher 60s. I mean, this doesn't look huge, you know, 60, high 60 to low 60s, but it is showing on this chart that we are continuing to break down. But what's also important to look at is the total market cap, and this is minus Bitcoin's market cap. So this is showing you altcoins. So the money, BTC is losing its dominance. Money is flowing into alts is what this, you know, is showing us. So this was actually brought to our attention by somebody in the Telegram chat. So if you don't have it, I think we got links down below, right, for Telegram, Discord, Patreon, all that good stuff. So we do want to thank everybody that's signed up already. That Patreon's brand new.
Right.
Brand
guys,
new.
Yeah. Like one of the things that, like we were saying, if we can get enough into the Patreon group, I plan on bringing in a mathematics guy, and this will be someone who does, you know, like we're going to do a matrix of, you know, correlations on this, you know, on these markets and find critical data points and set up, you know, do it like the professionals do and deliver the results. But yeah, that's some plans that we might go into, right?
So, you know, I'm kind of, after seeing this graph, I'm asking myself, where has the money, if money is coming into alts, which alts in particular is it going to? Which alts, you know, can we potentially pay attention to that could be starting to get some of this money that's taken away from Bitcoin? And we got a lot to cover here on our list. Now, last time we covered Bitcoin, we were trying to put in a head and shoulders pattern, which I kind of marked off here. I think I adjusted this because I'm expecting possibly a pullback just based on the money flow I'm seeing. But what we've seen since our last live stream on Bitcoin. So it's funny though, you know, as the dominance drops, Bitcoin has still been increasing, which I think probably a good thing overall. But the head and shoulders pattern, so I have some lines marked off here with some significant supports and resistances. So we kind of put in a low here, a lower low, and then this higher low, okay? So I seen this head and shoulders pattern kind of forming here. And I always like to kind of chop off some of these wicks, right? So if I take off some of these wicks, still kind of getting a slanted breakout zone, but you can see when we did break that neckline there, we lit up. Now let's see if we did meet our intended target here on Bitcoin on this move. And again, this is just for short term to immediate term, you know, short term, midterm. This is not for long term analysis here. We're just looking what can Bitcoin do.
Is that an all-time new high if it jumps up that gap? No? Yeah? Almost?
Well, I have the wicks off, so let me turn the wicks back on, and you'll see that we did wick up. Yes, this 62,000, that is our all-time high. So this pattern, I am looking for this pattern to take us back to that all-time high. And I think being above this range here on Bitcoin, right, 58,000 to about 59,000. I have this blue line right here comes in. It's been very significant, even in the last several hours in here. You can see we wick to it, wick to it, wick to it. And the more times you hit a support like this, it's eating up all these buy orders and it's weakening this. It's like banging on this wall and it finally breaks through. So the more times you tap it, it does get weaker. And we can see we drop down. I actually thought we were gonna maybe come back down to 55, but boy, yeah, that got bought up quick. And I did notice, actually looking at this is kind of in that range where it broke, right? This is where it broke out and it kind of back tested it real quick and it just somehow found support here. So I do see, as long as we remain above 58, 59, I think we're going to hit up in here. We may see some people try to take profit, or there's going to be a lot of profit taking. I mean, guys, we're at 60,000 Bitcoin, $60,000 Bitcoin. People,
yeah,
a lot of people are going to be taking profit.
Like you got some from, I've heard like, you know, that there's a lot of volume, OTC volume and coming into the space, you know, and they're even cutting the averages down, you know, the mapping averages that they use because there's so much demand. So
sure, and the OTC news I actually heard about was, I think Binance is getting set up to take. Was it? I think it was Binance, right? They're getting more and more set up to really handle large like OTC orders. I could be wrong. It was one of these big exchanges. So there is a pipeline. So what that means is, yeah, the infrastructure, the more on ramps. What was some of the bullish news this week? I mean, we had Visa, we had PayPal. So a lot of bullish news coming out. So yeah, we could definitely.
You know, Bitcoin looks like it's just ready to go. And
I'm definitely going to be watching here. Everybody's going to be watching here. This is going to be like Super Bowl Sunday for everybody in crypto right here. Everyone's going to be watching this 61. Soon if we spike past that, yeah, who knows what the next all-time high is going to be. Everybody's going to be watching, though. I know for sure.
Yeah, like JD says, there's no OTC available. You know, he's saying like that the Bitcoin's drying up. You know, and that's what we're hearing. You know, so it's getting crazy. And even with Bitcoin about to pump, check a look at this. So if you look at Bitcoin dominance, like I even noticed this, and this is like, go ahead Ian, take a look at that. The
on the dominance?
Yeah, just collapsing. Bitcoin dominance so that means there's some, I mean, this is probably Binance chain. This is probably like all those that are up there close, like Ethereum even pump. But look, it's got no support anymore. It's just.
So yeah, let me zoom out so we can see. We peaked. This was January 3rd. This is right at the start of the year, and it's been falling ever since. So we have, you know, I could suppose you could say we've been in alt season since January, and I know we've seen that here, especially. I mean, since January, there's been amazing movement in alts. So we've definitely seen where some of that money has gone. But you know, are we slowing down here? Are we creating a bottom? It almost looks a little ugly. Like, is it gonna bounce here? This is. I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on this. We'll keep you up to date here. But this is gonna be big for watching where the money goes. If it breaks here, yeah, alt season's gonna get crazy in April. Crazy.
The trend is your friend until the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know,
100%.
you know, and some people are saying, you know, the institutions are long-term holders, but the institutions are going to be long-term holders for alts too. You know, there's a
Yeah,
lot
so
of opportunity in the alts.
so check this out actually. So I'm kind of seeing some like money flow waves here where we cooled off, created like a double bottom on this, where we kind of had some previous support in this area, and it ripped hard back just straight through all this, right back up, right? And this money flow is looking good. I mean, we got money flow coming up. I mean, this is good, definitely going to lead into April. We could see big juicy money flow there. And this is what this is. Again, this is the total market cap of altcoins, excluding Bitcoin. So the time to buy and accumulate is getting shorter and shorter. Look, this we had some time here. This was March, early March, to accumulate some alts before we ripped. We all seen that. And now we had a little cool off time. Everybody's seen it. We've all been, you know, this is the time to be shopping discounts, be picking up cheap. And we'll be going over what those possibilities are here, right? We're going to be trying to find what's on sale, what's not on sale, what's overbought, you know, what's oversold. So we're going to go through some alts here coming up.
Where did Raw Paul? Do you guys know where Raw Paul worked? I think it was J.P. Morgan, right? Like he was one of the institutional desks, you know, one of these large institutions. But he was pointing out that like this chart looks like it's just ready to fly. Like you know, for some reason this 850 million mark, billion mark is a point of resistance for the alts, and it looks like that's like there's rockets, you know. So that's what I'm seeing as well. So let's take a look at DOT. Like, so we're you know, Bitcoin dominance collapsing, the alts look like they're taking off. Well,
You're
DOT's
right.
a
You
good example.
reminded me actually, because I seen DOT moving the other day, and I had this charted out. I'm sorry. Were you finished there? I didn't mean to just jump right into. So because I've been watching DOT, okay, and I had something like this. It was, to me, I always try to. Sometimes, you know, some people are real particular about, you know, connecting your lines perfectly. I see these as zones and ranges. To me, this is looking like a flat kind of line of resistance right here at 39.40. Nice round psychological number. And again, guys, this is DOT. Polka dot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've seen this resistance 40, and we were making higher lows. This is a bullish pattern. And again, guys, TA, it's not a crystal ball. TA is never going to be 100% on the right at the time. It's just here to help you guys identify, you know, potential buying opportunities. Because first of all, what we know, you know, from Mike's research, thank you, Mike, that these projects are great projects. Polkadot, I think you said at one point, is really the only project that's ready for market. So I love DOT. I love keeping an eye on DOT. It's going to be phenomenal. So regardless if you bought it 28 or 40, for the long term, it's kind of irrelevant. But, you know, if you're trying to get in at a good price, you can see we were making higher lows. Once we broke that, it kind of had this little back test here and just dump. So this is DOT's on sale. You see DOT under 30. This is, you know, potential buying opportunities is all I see, because DOT's here. So if we break back above this channel, 40's the line to watch. Obviously, that's like where your highs come in. So I'm kind of watching DOT to break that 40, and I am seeing money flow coming back in. So I'm on the 4 hour.
You know what's crazy? I think I could be wrong about this, but I think people were taking profits from Kusama and putting them in the Polkadot. Like, because that's the whole
From Kusama.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because Kusama finally is cooling off, and what I was saying is that I'm pretty sure these, so far, Kusama, these get bought up pretty hard. So let's see here, from top to bottom, not even at 20% yet. Which, you know, in typical markets that's huge, but crypto that's tiny.
Yeah.
So still bullish on here, but you're right that is kind of an inverse, and that's why, you know, taking a look at price action, seeing what's going on, it's important to know crypto is becoming so big now that the markets aren't moving totally in sync like they have in the past. In the past, it was like every little up and down was identical. Like BTC, Ethereum for a long time were like identical. And see, even now on a 4 hour chart, they do look identical, actually. Pretty darn identical. But then you see these charts like Kusama and DOT, And you're right. You know, that definitely looks like profit taking, reaccumulation of dot.
Here, let me check my mic real quick. Someone was saying you were louder. Blah, 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 blah. Louder, louder, louder.
That I'm louder.
Yeah. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? I don't know if it...
Saying I was a little too loud, maybe.
Yeah, mic increase sound. Hello. Is that better? Or here.
Mike, you can turn them down on Discord.
Is that better? Hello. Is that better?
Mike, you can turn them down on Discord.
Is that better? Hello. Is that better? Should be better, right? We'll figure it out later. I'm not sure how to control it right now. All right. So we checked out Dot. Dot looks bullish. Kusama looks like it's breaking down. I'll be honest, I did take some profits from Kusama. I love Kusama. Excellent project, but I always just wanted to be secure, and I balanced it out with, I balanced my Kusama with Algorand. So, you know, I'm very bullish on Algorand. Good. You can hear me clearly. Awesome. That's great. Glad that's working out. So yeah, that's what I did. I took profits from Kusama and put in Algorand, and balanced them out equally in my portfolio. All right, so let's check out Luxo. I love Luxo. My baby Luxo.
Actually, yeah, just one final comment on Kusama. I had this like uptrend line, and you can see like we broke it, and there's a pretty good dump when we break this line, even up here, you know. And it's been kind of interesting, and if you even kind of play with it, and again, any trend line, I just think of them as general ranges, but I find it interesting that it was trying to find support somewhere in this area on this uptrend, and like right here was kind of like a backtest wick, and then just dumped right off of it, right from that other side. You know, how low is this gonna go? I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm definitely.
I think, go ahead.
I had Kusama at one point. I don't now. I will be keeping an eye on this. And yeah, we can go right into Luxo, because this is what I've been waiting for Kusama to pull back. Like, it's never had really a big significant pullback. Something where I can say, hey, this is a great buying opportunity. Because yeah, we all love Kusama. Good project.
So just regarding on Kusama, like I still think there's room for it to run. Like I think it because the parachain candle auctions like are going to restrict a lot of supply. I still think it's going to go a lot higher. But the reason I took profits is because I wrote it for most of that massive gain. Might as well. Part of it's just, personal psychology. I want to make sure that after getting all those gains, I lock in some of it. And I know that Algorand is in a position. So I'm like, which one's more likely to perform? Sure, Kusama could double from here, but Algorand I think has maybe a 5 or 10x left in it. Especially with what news is coming down the line for Algorand. So
and what is the market cap now? I think Kusama's around 3 billion, maybe.
I thought it was it's higher than that.
I remember the last time I looked at it around 200-300, it was like 2 billion, I think.
I think it's at 5.
You're probably right. It's probably a lot higher than I think.
And I still think Kusama is a top 10 coin. I really believe that. But it's good to diversify. You don't want everything in one coin.
100%. So somebody did ask a question here. I think it's a good question. Will a BTC all-time high break? Will it make BTC dominance go up if we make a new all-time high on Bitcoin? Is BTC dominance going to go up?
If we break, so Bitcoin dominance could take, people could rush into Bitcoin. It's happened before, in which case the alts go down 20-30% and Bitcoin runs up 5%. I've seen that kind of stuff happen before.
Yeah, really, it's just representation of the ratio between Bitcoin and alts. Okay, so where did my dominance go? Yeah, here. So, what I'm kind of seeing is if we do potentially find some support down in here, if I go to the 1 hour on the hike and a she, maybe we get a green candle and come up a little bit, and if this dominance does come up a little, that little bit could take the Bitcoin price up higher, right? Like if people start taking some profits and putting it into Bitcoin, yeah, it could potentially push it up to an all-time high. But is it gonna like totally reverse this chart? You know what I mean? Is it totally going to reverse this chart and Bitcoin dominance just come? No, I don't know that has to. I think it could come up and back test this previous support as resistance, like you see in a lot of assets. You see support, flip resistance, and kind of see a rejection down.
I think
And
that's what's gonna
Bitcoin's
happen.
price can still go up. We've seen it. Dominance has been dropping for the last few hours, okay? Or last, what is this? Like last 8 hours. Bitcoin dominance has been dropping. But look at the price. I mean, we've gone up since that dominance has been dropping. So
That means
it's not a
there's money flowing into the alts, and there's
exactly.
There's just money flowing into the whole space right now.
Exactly, which is good, and we want to see this. I mean, this isn't bad for Bitcoin necessarily. It's going to be good for what we do here in this channel, looking at the strongest projects, and try to identify these before any of these other big communities really get wind. So I think that was a good question. I like that question. I'm trying to keep up with chat a little bit better tonight. The indicator that was on BTC Dominance. Okay, the money flow I'm using. This I don't know if I want to name stuff, just because I'm new to this space. My name's Eon, by the way.
Yeah, Eon is very good.
We can go over this indicator later. Whoever that was, maybe message me in like the Telegram chat or something, or leave a comment down below. I'll reply to you that way or something.
Oh,
we'll
we're
talk
gonna
about
hit
that
Lux.
later.
Yeah, the chat's asking for Lux. Let's check it out. Luxo.
Okay. Yeah, Luxo. So this kind of, we're talking about where to buy Kusama at. I'm not sure. We're still letting this bleed off, okay? But Luxo has bled off, all right? If we take a look at the 4 hour, right, it's kind of my go-to. Luxo has had plenty of cool-off time here. And what I'm seeing, I know there's kind of a lot going on. Let me at least get rid of these yellow trend lines. We don't need these here, okay? So the purple line is what I have marked off for potential Elliott waves, okay? The blue lines in here, where I have an A, B, C, this represents a correction wave. And again, this was actually from the Telegram group. I posted this in there, and somebody kind of corrected me on my Elliott waves, because it's still a little newer. I know a lot of TA, and I really like this Elliott wave, so I've been trying to incorporate it more. And because I don't really base my trades solely off of like Elliott waves. It's to help see these general trends, right? Because these markets move in waves, and you're going to have like maybe 2 or 3 impulse waves up and 2 or 3 correction waves, and that's what this wave 2 is. And they said, well, where's your ABC? Because a correction wave is made up of its own waves, right? So each wave has more waves. It's kind of a fractal deal. So within all this, I also see a head and shoulders. That's these green lines, okay? Inverse head and shoulders, pretty standard pattern, easy to spot. And we've been consolidating in here. This doesn't have me worried by any means. This is good. I think this is all healthy. We do need to crack this 20. I think this is the point to watch if everybody's watching 20. Potentially, great buying opportunity on Luxo. So if this, and again, this is the whole point of this TA, right? If Mike's fundamental analysis, let us know about this project early, way before it caught all this wind. Look at all this, Okay, so we were getting in $1, $2, $3, wherever. Even his last video, he said, hey, last call. Actually, Mike, I wanted to ask you about that. I remember the video. You said last chance Luxo. Somewhere in here. What made you say that? Was there some fundamental news that came down the pipeline? I don't remember what was going on.
It was the end of the first sale rounds, which was holding the price down, and I could see that whales were accumulating, and they were just accumulating, and they were quietly accumulating. And it was the what is it called? The sale, the specific kind of trust sale, or I forget. It's out of my mind right now. But it was the way they were doing a fair token sale was like over time. You would get more and more of their token, and they would get more and more of your ETH, and you could pull your ETH away if you wanted to. But anyways, it was the end of that sale, and so it was no longer being held down by issuance of new LYXE to the market. And the moment that happened, like I was like, okay, so this is when the whales are going to pump it, because this project is so important. This is going to be one of the key players in blockchain history, and so that's why I knew it was just going to take off.
And speaking of blockchain history, yes, this is. I think are we coining this here first? I think you said it. The blockchain decade.
Yes, this is going to be the blockchain decade, as one of my friends has coined it. Like, look, like this is the dot-com bubble. How was the time that led up to the dot-com bubble? Like 5 years. This is revolutionizing money. Okay, like so it's gonna revolutionize all the human transactions. It's our devices. Our devices are gonna do what paper used to do, and like what institutions used to do. So it's gonna be long. It's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna change all the rules and all the games and all the businesses, and it's just a complete it's a complete new game. And so I have an awesome video coming out soon. Patreons already saw it, but that video is about a project that will highlight one of the critical use cases. And I did throw some money into that project, and I think it is a good investment. And it'll show like how powerful this technology is. It's a game changer. Like the rules are changing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
So we checked out KSM, right? Let's go to Algo.
Actually, I had a question real quick. Have you ever seen? I'm just going to kind of pop this up on the screen. Have you ever seen this 1994 Today Show? Yeah. What is the internet anyway?
You can play it if you want. I love seeing this shit.
I mean, people can. It's pretty simple, right? They're talking on the news, and they're like, "What's the @ sign? What is? I don't even know. I thought it was a boat, and I thought it was." And they're like, "No, I think it's @ and I've never heard it said." And he's like, "What is the internet anyway?" This is 1994, guys. 1994. I think I've been saying for like, I don't know, maybe last 6 months or so. I'm like, that nobody knows what crypto is anyway. That's what people. What is crypto anyway? That's where we're at. So we are early, guys. If you're thinking you're missing a boat, if you're looking at LYXC, if you're new to this channel, new to the crypto space, leave a comment down below. I want to hear from new people. If you think you missed the boat on this, this is like prime buying opportunity. At least in my opinion, I buy in here. This is where I buy. I'm seeing, green line means buy, where you buy in the red. When there's blood, people are freaking out. You got people that, bought too late. They've seen all this and they bought above 20 and they're just panic selling. And this is also people taking profit. People are going to do this, right? If you bought down here, if you're around $20, and that's why I think this is kind of a nice round psychological number. If you got in at $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 and you're like, hey, we're around 20. Yeah, let me take some profit and go look at some other projects, but you're going to leave this in because it's a great project. You want to keep some of this because it's going to be such a great project. So this is going to be a blip on the radar. And long term, where, like you said, this is going to be a part of blockchain decade history. It'll be a blip on the radar, guys.
Yeah.
But this is the TA is here to kind of present, this is a potential buy opportunity. And from a trader standpoint, I just want to wrap up with this final point on this. Technically, if you're trading, you would wait for this to break out, wait for some confirmation that we are going up, come back down, back test, and confirm again through here, right? It's kind of a lot. But this is alts, guys. I mean, this TA is not going to work out perfect. It's just to give you an idea so that you don't buy the top, right? So you don't buy up here. Remember what I said last week about Kusama? We're sitting right at $500 on Kusama. I said, I'm not buying at 500. I said, I'm going to wait for it to spike up, come back down. If it finds support here, great, then I'll buy. But it didn't, guys. We're breaking down. So now, for me being patient, now I'm going to find the real buy opportunity. I'm going to look for some type of bullish divergence, money flow. I'm gonna be paying attention to all of it and looking for those potential buy opportunities.
So like I said earlier, I took profits from Kusama and put them into Algorand. I mean, imagine if Algorand goes for a run and Kusama pulls back. I would love that. Please happen.
Yeah,
Like,
no
who
doubt,
knows?
and that's what we're trying to.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Kusama's one of my favorites, but like you gotta, but it even hurts selling it. It hurts, but my best decisions have been made when it hurt. Like seriously, like that's I've noticed that every time. Like, when it doesn't feel good doing it, it's usually good.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. To try to make the comfortable choice is probably a bad strategy.
So let's check out Algorand. Did we check that one out? Yeah, we're on.
No, we just wrapped up a couple of let's go to Algorand, which is looking mighty strong here. I think we were. Let's see. When was your last live stream? Do we know? Do we have a date?
I think it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. I think we were looking for the breakout.
I think we were, and it looks like we even broke out and back to. Let me make this kind of big so we.
They're saying
so
my
we can
mic's
actually
not
see.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Check.
Algo looks primed, my friend. Yes, indeed, JD.
All right, they're saying it's working. Yeah, my mic's working. So yeah, look at that. Look
Okay,
at that
good,
thing.
good
Look at
deal,
that
good
thing.
deal.
Are we ready to ride? Is that thing ready
Yeah.
to go? I mean,
Yeah, and so this exactly right. So Algorand is a much bigger project than say LYXE, and you can see the TA. It does seem to be kind of being respected. Okay, we broke out this downtrend, back tested for support. This is good, guys. This is on the 4-hour. This is right off of a Fibonacci support line. That's what these colored lines are. I've measured it from way down below all the way to the tippy top. We're breaking out. I have several points of measurement. These are still in play from last stream. Potential targets: $2, $2.25, $2.75. Those are the immediate short term over the coming who knows? I mean, with the spikes, I mean, it could take a month or two. Algorand's a big project, right? It's going to take a couple $1 billion to get this thing moving, but looking very strong. Let me go to the money flow. Oh yeah. So we've had some blips of red. It's just accumulation. That's people buying discount dollar. I know I did. I bought more. $1.05.
You know what's funny with Algorand is I listened to Lex Friedman. I don't listen to every podcast he does, but I was listening to Lex Friedman, and he was interviewing the founder of this project, and I wrote down Algorand in big letters, and then like 2 weeks later I get a call from like Source X, and he's like, man, like Algorand, like I can't say more than that, but he was saying that there's stuff coming down the lines, and then after that I did my fundamental analysis. And it was strong. It's a strong project. So I had 3 things in the universe in like a couple days telling me Algorand. So I'm like, bam! I didn't even have to think about it. This thing is like, it's solid from fundamentals, solid from the information flow, and the people that like the technology are some of the best, like Lex. So it's Lex Friedman. I highly suggest you guys follow Lex Friedman. He's great. I love his interview style too. I'm going to try to incorporate that a little bit in my strategy. So this is about to go big, in my opinion, guys. Nothing is known for sure, but if you want, you hear it now. Legit, like I said this before in my Twitter. If you look at my Twitter, I say let history judge this tweet, and I said look at my Kusama calls. Okay, let this sit in history right now. Recorded for everyone to see. Algorand, I'm calling it. But who knows? I could be wrong. That I've made bad calls before. Like I missed, Terra. I only got 5x out of Terra. So
only.
But dude, like Terra is like 1,000xer. It's a crazy performance. And now, I'm aware of those guys, and I'm like, man, those guys I'm gonna follow everything they do. But So Algorand
on the money flow, it's coming back, guys. I'm looking for another big hump of money flow coming in here.
Mhm.
And I think, if that gets us over $2, yeah, we ain't coming back. Like you said, strong fundamentally. You'll see these pullbacks, but you're going to see diminishing return, right? The bigger a project gets, just like Bitcoin, it's kind of what I've learned from Bitcoin. The bigger it gets, you get diminishing returns on these dumps. So in the future, just because we dumped 54% here doesn't mean you're going to see a discount like that again.
So Shane from the chat says 3 out of 6 is like Lex Friedman's guests have been crypto based. He's in deep. So that's funny. It is funny. Like Lex. Like what happens to people, smart people, or whatever. Like Lex Friedman, he's going down the rabbit hole, just like you said, Shane. Like Lex is like, and the same thing with Elon. I know Elon Musk is going down the rabbit hole too. Elon Musk has so much on his plate, so it's harder for him. But people like Elon and Lex, they're all going down the rabbit hole, and they're realizing, Lex even said, I'm going to be interviewing crypto people, because this is a rabbit hole of concepts in our minds right now. Like this, your imagination should run free. Like when people saw the internet, they, their imaginations tried to run free, and we got what we have today. This is going to change the world in more ways than the internet did. I mean, I guess it's a technology on top of the.
Yeah, I really like that you said that, letting the imagination run free on this, and that I could not. That's a good way to put it. I could not find the words to explain it to my buddy. Who he keeps trying to put crypto in a box, like it has to fulfill these requirements to exist. Like, it has to, Bitcoin, it's not going to be a perfect medium of exchange for cash transfer. I don't see being able to buy a cup of coffee, I'm like, it doesn't have to. Just, that's not the point anymore. I'm like, the projects being created are unimaginable. You have to account for the unknown, unimaginable. Like you ever watch Minecraft? The kind of stuff people come up with in that thing? Like creativity,
There's a guy who built a calculator in Minecraft. Like he built a whole
Dude, a calculator?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy that built a whole processor?
That's what I love, man. That's amazing. Like
he built a whole working CPU processor in Minecraft.
What was that first computer that Bill Gates was playing with? And they were playing with way back in the day. It was a computer. It was like a switchboard. It was like a 64-bit switchboard, and and they did memory on it. Like they would switch a few switches, and then it would record a single bit, and then they just switch a few more switches, and they wrote a whole program for that thing, and that was like the first computer. So yeah, it's Minecraft.
It's wild.
It's wild. I love computing, but whatever.
Yeah, we could. What do we got next?
We're on EGLD.
Right. Is that Elrond?
Crypto clan, one of my crypto clans, they love this project. Okay, they're obsessed with this project. It's their favorite thing ever.
Man, I should have listened to the hype a year ago, boy.
Well, they got in around $90, but it looks pretty strong. Look at that chart; it looks strong. And I bought into. I like EGLD. I like their strategy. I like their team. So and I listen to my friends. I'm not as bullish on it as they are, but I trust their judgment. So I did put it in a position in EGLD. And
I don't know how I did not notice this wick, but boy, in a week.
Sometimes it's good just to put crazy low buy orders on some of these. What exchange is that? Binance?
That's Binance.
Yeah.
Isn't Binance huge?
Yeah. But what happens is a long position, short positions, they get liquidated, and it just collapses the price. And so, if you have those orders really low, you can get steals. Highway robbery, and then you could instantly sell and get a huge gap of profits. Some people have probably made fortunes from just that, and it's like a one-off thing. Doesn't happen very often. I mean, if the market goes into a bear market, you should definitely put buy orders really low for whenever the bear market happens, and you'll have those gaps down. And
you just got to do it on those low liquidity exchanges.
Yeah, and you just quickly dump again, and you might get one or two of those in 6 months, but that could be massive.
Actually, I think I have heard of somebody like within, I think the last 12 months had like a buy order down at $1,000 Bitcoin that scooped it up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's possible.
Look at that chart though. That is a pretty chart, right? I'd say that's pretty solid. I know that they opened up staking for Algorand, and I staked all my stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, on the app too.
Is that this week they announced that?
I think it was like a week ago. The Myar app. If you have EGLD, guys. Take it, put it in the Miner app, and stake it.
Do you know the market cap of this offhand?
I think it's 3 billion.
Okay, similar to Algorand.
Actually, I think it's higher than Algorand. It's actually pretty up there, right?
Is it really?
Where is it?
I've never checked its market cap, so I am curious to know.
I'm surprised EOS is pumping. Like EOS hasn't done anything. That's actually the best time to buy something. Because EOS has been getting a lot of hate. That's usually when something's good is when people hate it.
So this is cool. I can kind of do this one live. This isn't. I've never owned this, and I haven't paid attention to it to chart it. But again, just like Algorand, we're coiling up for a move somewhere in here, and this looked pretty ugly, but I can't believe it actually played out as well as it did on Algorand. But here, somewhat similar. I am cutting off this wicks because I just, I like to trim that fat. I like to kind of pick that average range. I'm not going to count this. Why would I count this down here? Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I should, but that just seems like an outlier, right? I need to cut off the outliers and just kind of try to see past the fuzz. And sometimes I like to do that by just cutting off the wicks. Makes things simpler. I mean, now it's, and you take it all with a grain of salt. Like I'm not going to consider this like a descending triangle, right? But it does look like a nice bull pennant symmetrical triangle. So we can get a couple targets based off of this. It will depend on which way it breaks out. Now, guys, the TA here, I cannot tell you if we are going to break up or down. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to see with my indicators. I'm going to watch like a hawk. I'm going to watch that money flow. I'm going to watch for confirmation, volume. It's what you have to do with these trades like this on a daily basis. But what I'm seeing, money flow and momentum really coming down. They're since we had this big pump. I mean, there's been some nice accumulation in here, and we got a nice double bottom. But on this run up here, right? So if I do just remove my drawings, and we just kind of take this as maybe a W pattern here. Yeah, I feel like we kind of got. I feel like this is kind of a rejection, right? That doesn't look the greatest to me. So, I will be waiting, keeping an eye on this one. Trades could be made off of this. I think you just wait for that confirmation, right? Maybe this isn't the project that catches the next big wave. It's already had such an impulse up. Maybe it decides to cool down a little bit, much like Dot did, right? Dot was looking real good, ascending triangle, kind of bullish, had a nice big impulse, like everybody. Maybe it kind of does a fake out where it wants to just shake some more people out. Because guys, right, for big money to come in, they need a lot of people to sell. They need a lot of liquidity. They need people to dump so they can buy, right? And maybe you could potentially see that with this. We won't know until we get more data, but right now, that is what I'm looking for. And let's measure some targets real quick, and then we can move on. So from here to here, right, something like this. And these are just rough targets, guys. I'm just kind of, so it take us kind of right back up to that all-time high from this. And we watch again, right? Maybe take some profit, let some ride if you're a trader. Take the whole pull. I mean, did I even measure? I might have measured down too far, actually, on that. I think I just need to measure probably about to here, to that last real low down there. And the whole 300. So I'm seeing, 200 to 300 range for old Elrond here. Elrond, I think it's with a D, I don't know. Something like that, right? Elrond, if I'm saying that right.
Elrond. I don't know. I think it's Elrond.
I have a couple more on this list, and then I have some more tabs open on some other ones. What do you want to move on to next?
All right, so next one we should check out is Celsius, which I am accumulating. I don't care what it's doing because I think the market's being irrational with Celsius because they have like 12 billion in assets on, and they're just growing and growing and growing. And so yeah, I accumulated more Celsius.
Actually, one final note on Elrond here. I am seeing momentum and money flow both getting like coiled and pinched, right? So that's a big move is coming for this asset here. I'm seeing these red waves getting smaller and smaller like this. It depends what we see happen in the immediate short term here. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I'm also seeing kind of a decrease on these on these green money flow waves too, right? So we're coming to like a pinch point, or we're going to see a determination here soon. So I'm going to wait, let it coil up a little more. If we kind of get back above, I'd say even this high, right? If we know for sure we come back above this last high, it's going to break out of this resistance here. So that's a good price to know, and that's 150. 150, guys. If we solidly confirm over that, then I'm going to get real bullish on this. If we break down on this downside, yeah, then, you know, you're going to get an extra discount. Congrats to you for being patient on it. You know, wait.
So
what do you got next?
Celsius. Like they have a lot of assets on. I think Celsius is going to help people who are not blockchain experts. Like it's just going to be a good custodial location to just store and allow for. And you know they run through the contract risks. The reason their rates might not be as high as some yield farming stuff is because they know there's a lot of smart contract risks, which is what everybody acts like there isn't. But you know, like to each person who's willing to take whatever risk level they want. But I really like Celsius because it's an entity that operates on your behalf. They get 80% back to the people that deposit there. It's another place to store your crypto that doesn't like if your house burns down, but if you have your money stored at Celsius, it doesn't disappear. But if you have your ledger and your ledger state stuff in your house, it goes with the house. You know, like so you have to keep it in a physical location unless you got it kept in multiple locations. You know, so Celsius is actually a good place to store a little bit of your wealth and allow for it to accumulate that interest. Because it's different than storing it in your physical location. You can memorize this private key. You can do that. You know, most people aren't going to do that. And it's a practical place. It's practical and it's growing rapidly. So it doesn't follow the ethos, not your keys, not your crypto, but it's got all the other elements that I've seen in the old world that makes massive amount of money. And the guy leading this the guy leading this project is Alex Mashinsky. Never bet against him. So that's the fundamentals. So what does the chart tell us?
Well, we are definitely in the red on money flow, which sounds bad, but guys, you buy in the red, man. When everybody's panicking and blood is in the street, that's when you want to buy. Well, not just yet, but in my opinion, we're approaching some buy opportunities here. And again, it's probably gonna come down real similar to Elrond, actually, even on the money flow. Like this is on the daily, guys. So I zoomed out a little bit more. And really what I'm looking for is this, again, somebody asked about this indicator. It's a whole custom package. There's a lot going on here. But just to kind of break down, you see this RSI line that goes green and turns red and goes green. These green especially on the daily, like you can see it flicked green just for a moment, and these are kind of rare. And you can see when it prints that's your accumulation. That means accumulation time, and you can see it just leads into these pumps, right? So here we pumped. Oh gosh, it looks like a blip on the right. That's 200%, guys. That's 200%. Looks like a blip. That's what I'm talking about.
Celsius
here
is one of the most crazy performers when it goes. When it goes, like, dude, look at this thing. Like, it is coiling like a rattlesnake, and it's gonna go.
Yeah, no doubt. And so I've actually never owned Celsius. I've had my eye on it for a while now, and I am looking for that opportunity. See, I'm not sitting here looking at this like, oh, look, I missed the boat. No, I didn't miss no boat. This is strength. That's showing. That's good. You want to see this, especially even bigger investors, right? Mm-hmm. Big money, as the assets get bigger and bigger, it brings in bigger and bigger fish. So I'm just looking for that buy opportunity on this, and potentially, I'd like to see maybe this RSI. It is coming down. So when this red line comes down here, it could print green. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. It's going to give me a kind of a buy sign. I'm going to look for this money flow to kind of cross back up. And ultimately, I'm watching this pattern, right? We got the same deal, big symmetrical triangle. And what this pattern means it's a continuation pattern, right? So if we've been going up, then the more likelihood that we do break up. Now that doesn't mean you bet the farm, hey, this pattern means we go. No, it doesn't mean we go up. It just means we are more likely to. And it might only be a slight advantage. It might only be 5% more likely that we break up, guys. But what is important is when we start to break previous highs, right? So we're putting in higher lows and lower highs, okay? So this, like he said, we're coiling up like a rattlesnake, and I'm gonna sit here and wait like a snake, okay? And we're gonna get it, okay? So break up or down, I'm waiting patiently. You wait for the confirmation, or you get a better entry, you know? If it did some crazy dump, you know, down to $2, hey, what a great buy opportunity if it did. So that's potentially what I'm looking at. Some price targets for you. Again, similar. I measure the triangle. Still same from last week. $8 to $10. That's what I'm looking for.
I think Celsius is going to be like, people might think this is crazy, but I think it's still a 100x project. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. It's not going to, you know, like 100. I mean, it could. It's probably even be more than that, but a $300 billion market cap takes it to roughly the same size of like Bank of America, right? But the leader behind it is like one of the most innovative people in the world, and this is not just America. This is through the internet, and it's leading the charge in what it does for this, you know, for crypto, and it's leading it not only in legal means, it's making it easy for users to get 80% returns, you know, and they go into the market and they look for yield opportunities, and they do that on your behalf. And there's a lot of people who don't understand the complexity of crypto. Well, Celsius is one of those easier to use platforms, and also they're, you know, like I said, they're worldwide, international, in all these different countries, and they have this Vortex token model. And you know that they're changing up their plans. Like, they're very aggressive. Like, they're doing the credit card thing soon. You know, they're doing the American investors could earn and sell, which earning and sell is essentially like getting paid a dividend, right? Like, if you earn and sell, they don't make any money off of you. You know, they just pay out 100% of what they make to you when you earn and sell. So it's you know, it's just a solid project all around. All right, so
yeah, I kind of flipped back to Algo here. I was kind of looking at the chat and I had some questions about it. For me personally, I was, you know, again, just like the other couple projects we looked at, I was looking at these resistance here, and I see that we broke out. So this is a good sign. You see, we get these breakouts, and it's on.
Yeah, guys,
and
if you're late to the stream, Algo, okay? Let history judge me right now. Algo is where it's going to go. It's going to go. Algorand is going to be running.
So, honestly, if you're not in...
Not investment advice, though, yeah.
Not investment, yeah, exactly. Not investment advice. What I would do, my opinion on what I'm doing is, in my opinion, I think anything realistically under this previous high, anything like in this is the golden pocket, guys, the Fibonacci retracement here. Let me kind of make this a little bigger. Fibonacci. The golden pocket is right here between 91 cents and $1.26. Guys, I measure this from the bottom down here to the top. And look at all the wick action, like tons of buy right here at the 382, because this is what traders look for. They look for this retracement right to this point. This is that golden pocket. So this is your accumulation zone. And me as an investor, I'm buying in here to hold for the long term. I honestly, when we break out, I'll buy here. You know, I don't care, because I know this will all be a blip on the radar, guys. It'll all be a blip. So whether you really get, you know, $1.25 or $1.35, that's not a big deal, guys. This coin earns you interest, APY. I mean, it's like the sooner you get it, almost the better. I'm earning I don't have a ton in it, and I seen like when I first got it, I seen some like, oh, I'm getting like 40 cents a day. But thinking about it, well, if it 10x's from here and goes to, let's say, you know, $10 a coin, well, now I'm getting $4 a day this whole time, and it's in Algo, right? So you're like double dipping. I love interest on cryptos.
All right, so let's check out OneUp. let's get into the crazy ones. These are the little guys. These are the wild plays. These are not safe by any means, but they're the fun little things that could make us a lot.
We're gonna move into the micro caps.
Yeah, let's go to one up.
One up.
One up. It's a social media.
Okay, I failed actually. I didn't pull. That was the one I didn't type in here.
So, yeah, this is the TrustSwap guy. You know, he's been pretty good in the past, so I took a bet on him. Let's take a look at there's some big news that they're going to release soon. They were supposed to release it today, but maybe
Yeah, the TrustSwap guy, the guy that made this project and this project go boom,
big booming,
go bang bang. Actually, talking about swap,
what a weird chart.
Kind of, yeah, right. It's like a pretty legit double top, and it's something to be wary of too, especially when you have momentum kind of coming down. Who knows on swap? I did actually make a trade from down in here up to here, based on this downtrend getting broke. But I since I leave a little and since moved some of the profit I made into other projects, right? I always leave some on the side, so because you're always doing new research and seeing what's coming down the pipeline, and that does bring us to one up. Yeah, that's the swap guy. What can you tell us about one up here? I think this is one of your most recent ones. Is this you
Swap.
Did a video on this, I believe, right?
I did a video on Swap, yeah, and
I think I missed this one actually.
Swap was a good performer. I have Swappy, and it's I'm still holding on to it. I think I think we got a lot of look. The alts are about to boom. Okay.
Okay, I did chart this one. I remember now. Yeah, because I think somebody had asked me about this. All right, and what I was looking at was right. We were sitting right here, and it was hey, should I buy one up here? And I said, well, let me take a look. And I searched around for a while because this isn't my bread and butter chart, right? This is Dex tools. They don't have they don't have one up on TradingView. So I got to go a little old school on the indicators here. Got to go with some RSI. And what I found, let me go to the 4 hour. Check this out, guys. I found this clear, just bearish divergence on the RSI. And look, this played out. I think actually my buddy, I had a friend texting me a couple days ago, and he's like, hey, it's under 2 cents. This one up project, should I get it? And I said, I was just trying to go from memory, and I was like, I think, yeah, if you get it, I was like, I think I remember being under 2 cents, probably a better buy from where we were at. Cause I remember telling him well, I'd like to see us get above 3, right? If we were coming up into this zone, when we were here, I wouldn't have bought until we were over 3. Because I have these.
Let me see what's
the market cap.
One up, yeah.
It's low, isn't it? Like 7 million or something.
So this is a social media. Social media is high risk, okay? Because that's that's difficult to make it successful. But you could be creative. All you got to do is be creative, guys. If I was the CEO of this project, I'd be sitting in my, he does have this attention split between this and TrustSwap. But, all you got to do is use your imagination, and you could make things work. It's up to you, in your mind, to think about some cool stuff, and boom, you could have a home run. That's all it takes is some kind of strategy. And you can make this into something unique. The market cap on this thing is 6 million. Okay.
6 million. Okay. Guess I do know a little bit more about this than I thought.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at.
I'm
looking at CoinGecko. So.
I gotcha. Okay. So what I'm seeing on one up here, it's kind of we do have a bit of a double top here, right at this resistance, and it's an important. Let me kind of show you where I got these blue support and resistance lines from. If you zoom out, there was a lot of action back here, and this is in August of last year, guys. So this isn't like a coin that just hit the market. It's had price action up at 6 cents. Okay, that's pretty huge. And it did, I've seen this too, it put in a big head and shoulders pattern. It broke in here and just flatlined for a while. I mean, what a deal down here.
Oh, I know. I wish I was buying back there, huh?
Yeah. And so yeah, I went back and I looked at all of this, and I drew out my supports and resistances where I determined the most significant points are, right? You know, I didn't come in here, I didn't make a high here, even though we have some chop in here. I didn't make, you know, supports and resistances on all these highs and lows. No, I just went through and I tried to figure out the most important points here. And I kind of made them almost a box. I kind of have two stacked and sort of these range, except for these ones are kind of separate, but this is kind of a range for me. And what I see is a double top. Okay, RSI coming down. Now, if you guys want to pay attention to this in the short term, anybody that potentially wants to get in on this 50 line right here on the RSI, right in the middle, you can see it acts as support, especially in uptrends like it did here and here. So it's important that this continues to act as support. If this breaks this 50, this RSI, and comes down, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. Okay. And then I would expect the price to come back down to these previous levels. And again, I'm going to be patient and wait. It's this one's kind of going to be a little delicate to find a real good entry. But guys, honestly, if this is just like every other project that you research and is just fundamentally sound, it's not going to matter if you bought at 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, guys. This, you know, a lot of times this stuff ends up being a blip. Okay. So, but just if, you know, in the immediate short term, if you're working with a small portfolio and you're trying to, like, you know, let's say you got $1,000, for example, and you're trying to time a good entry. Yeah, it's important, right? You're trying to build up something. So if you did get an entry, manage to get an entry at, say, a penny, and it goes to 5 pennies, well, hey, that's a nice 5x, right? And you're going to take some profit, but it's important from an investment standpoint that I would leave this in. To you want to leave some skin in this to let it run, and that's really how you just start accumulating and growing a portfolio. For anyone new in the chat, I seen somebody, you know, was asking about Algo. They said they were a new investor. Again, not investment advice here. I'm just giving you my opinion on my experiences and what I would do and what I am planning on doing. So I'm not telling you what to do. It's just what I'm doing and what I'm doing what I've learned.
Yeah, everything here is what we're personally doing, you know, like what Ian's doing, what I'm doing. I just share the knowledge, you know, and I enjoy doing this stuff because, like, I like the fact that I'm watching history unfold and that this space is you know, history.
Yeah, so for this project, I don't have any price targets. I'm keeping an eye on it. This one's given me some data to go on. Look back here. Since August, there's been no data. There's nothing for me here. I mean, even if I zoom in, maybe, but this is not worth trading to me. But now we got some new data. You know, we're stair-stepping up. I don't see any way for me to really determine any targets off this other than previous supports and resistances, guys. So looking left, we come back. We can see that 5 cents and 6 cents. These are going to be important areas to watch coming up. So I do think, you know, if we continue this trend, right, trend to your end, we're gonna see 5-6 cents. Yeah.
So let's check out UFR now. Like, that's a good one to.
UFR. Okay. Oh boy. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see. I can at least tell you where we've been back here before our big, beautiful breakout. We were right around 12 cents, hit a high 62. We're currently at 29. This is tough to chart. I don't have much for you on this one, honestly.
Yeah, it's
okay,
such a
well,
small one.
let me poke around. This could be good on the 4-hour RSI, right? It's making a pretty ugly double bottom, and altcoins are gonna get really fuzzy, guys. This is very low market cap, so it's gonna get ugly as far as TA. But that looks good, right? You know, let me put it this way: if you buy here, you know you're not buying at a top, or I should say, if I'm buying here. I know I ain't buying at a top, okay? That's about all I can really determine. I am seeing these lows on this RSI kind of coming uptrending, which is good. So potentially seeing some support here. That's about the best I got on this one. Other than that, this price action it's so choppy. I mean, you're fluctuating 57 cents down to 30 cents within hours. I mean, let me go down a little bit. Even in even in 5 minutes, I mean, even you're seeing big, enormous moves. Just wicks. It's crazy. This one's not going to matter, guys. Whether you got it 10 cents, 20 cents, or 30 cents, it's a low market cap. These are high quality, fundamental projects.
Yeah, some
they're gonna.
Some people are like, oh, like I, like this is a boring chart, or like this project is, like pump and dump or whatever. Well, first of all, informing people of these small ones, like the goal is to try to obviously the Patreon group gets to hear about it first, and the point of that is so that we slow down the way money goes into it, so that try to slow it down, so that these are long-term plays. Everything I pick, I'll pick 20 of these or 10 of them, like these little ones, right? And they'll make up 5% of my portfolio, 10 of them, right? And 10, 20, and it's just this group of little coins like this, and just one of them can go absolutely astronomical, and it takes over your portfolio. UFR is one of those coins that has that potential because it's something where everybody thinks it's crazy. Oh, P2P pile sharing, even though it took up a quarter of the web at one point. And it's like when someone thinks something's crazy, but you flip it on its head, and I think that there is a market opportunity if they go running for this. And if you have traffic on a P2P platform, and there's people offering their services, offering their files, we could see a whole new marketplace that doesn't even exist. It could be very interesting to see a software market show up there, a P2P software market. So it's entirely possible that this project, getting the right elements together, you're getting into nothing. It's like VC investing, right? Keep it in mind. High risk. You could be losing everything. If you ever watch like Shark Tank or whatever, obviously that's dramatized. But in reality, you're gonna go around looking for big markets, people who are hard workers, and and for something that people are discounting because they have a misconception of reality. This one is one of those ones where I think people have a misconception of reality. I could be wrong, but that's why it's a little play, and I just hold for it the long term. I don't care if it goes crazy. I'm not trading it. I might trade a little bit, like a little part of it if it does go crazy. I could take out my initial. If it goes crazy, then I'll take out my initial, but I'm gonna let it ride because it could be huge. But yeah, these are high risk. And I don't.
Okay, I said I didn't have anything for you. I lied. I found something while you were giving us
it's got
the
some
goods.
support from its previous little.
Yeah, how about that? I went to the daily. It was kind of like my last resort here to try and find something. Yeah, look how perfect that is. That looks beautiful. All right, and the RSI here, it's kind of coming down into this zone where I mentioned earlier. You can find support on the RSI in this 50 area. It looks like it might turn around early, because I have seen kind of some support off of this trend line. It's kind of interesting. If I take it from down here or here, it might decide to go a little lower. I don't know, but I think this is looking actually really good where it's at. That's usually what you want to. This is pretty standard. You see previous resistance, flip support. What we need to see, really what I want to see, is I want to see just a nice doji candle right here that just looks like that in the next couple days or whatever. Yeah, a nice little doji right there, and then just a nice big bullish right there. That'd be great. That's kind of what we could potentially be seeing here on this previous resistance. Now, is it maybe potentially flipping support here? We will see. So, moving on, what do we got next on the list here?
All right. So I think what we got next is So Ian, you wanted to talk about PSI, right? Like the PSI token.
Yeah, did you already discuss this one today as far as
Or here, we can go over it now. Like I can go over my. Okay, so guys,
yeah,
I
go
don't know if
ahead.
you've heard of this token.
Go ahead and run that one. I'll be right back in a minute.
Okay. So guys, this is a token that I introduced recently. The passive income token. Okay, so this is a very tiny project. Market cap 3 million. Okay, and like from a fundamental standpoint, the thing that I like about this one is the simplicity of it. There's no impermanent loss. Like the whole idea of this token that I found is it's going for simplicity of passive income. Everybody asks about passive income, and that's a common theme that you'll see in people who want to get financial independence. And you only need to hold PSI in your wallet to earn more of it. Rewards will appear and compound instantly for free in your wallet. Okay, so that's very appealing to me. Like, meaning you don't have to deal with smart contracts. You don't have to deal with any complexity. You just buy the token, and whatever services they provide and accumulate income from just go straight to it. So it's kind of like a dividend token of their services provided. And one of the things that I'm a little biased on is in their explanation. I like this little chart, but in it, to me, this is a better way to communicate. Is something like this. Let me move this out of the way. So, like something like this is a better way to communicate. Obviously, you know that from my channel, and you could see instantly all the different plans that they have. Getting like for these services provider, they just have to hit off one of these niches. And I'm going to meet with the founder. I'm going to do an interview with the founder and ask him questions on which one of these he wants to establish first. Of course, they're doing marketing. They had a marketing partnership recently. And so, that was one of the reasons that it started pumping. I'll ask him questions about like their plans on acquiring niches and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's still a small market cap, and so it's something that became on my radar. My Patreon group actually became aware of it like around $300. So let me see right here. Like they became aware of it around 300, and so we got them in nice and early, so that they could make that trade. And finally, let me see. I have the last topic that we're going to go over. So I wanted to do the last rant. Basically, like what my channel is, what we're going for here is, this is like a VC. Like what you should do in your mind when you're approaching this stuff is this is VC investing, right? Like we are looking for. This is how capitalism works, in my opinion, right? Capitalism works. Or here, let me go to my main screen, like so you guys can hear me talking to you instead of like being disengaged, right? So what we're doing here is we're going for VC type thinking. Okay, I am not a financial advisor, right? But I have turned down managing funds, and what we are doing is the same approach to VC investing. We're looking for talented people, big markets, like opportunities that people are glazing over. And you have to ask yourself the question, well, what is VC investing? What value are we providing to the world when we do this? We're allocating resources to the most probabilistic returns, okay? Like what we do in this channel is, what I'm doing with my own funds, and I'm, putting out there, is I'm allocating resources to the most probabilistic returns. And that probabilistic returns is what is actually filling a market need, right? Like we're finding these opportunities, and this is a valuable thing. Like this is how free markets work. So a lot of the people, like you'll even see people saying, "Oh, crypto's overhyped." If you're a free market person, you need this is the glory place for free markets, because now there's no barriers to entry. Anyone could be a VC investor. And if you listen to billionaires speak, they always are talking about their home runs where they saw something people didn't see and they made 1,000x, 10,000, 100,000x on their money. that opportunity is available to everyone now. And so that is the magic of this space. Is now we could find tiny little projects and find that person who's driven, find that team that will deliver, and we allocate resources to them that would have not been given to them by some banker who can't have an imagination. So that's what we're doing here. We're looking for these opportunities, and you have a part of your portfolio that is these high risk bets, and then the medium bets, or the higher caps. And it depends on your portfolio allocation. Like if you have a big chunk of money, you're going to play a different game. If you have a medium chunk of money, you're going to play a different game. If you have a small amount of money, you want to go wild. Okay, but once again, nothing here is financial advice. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted, like, that was my spiel. Is like that's what we're doing here, and and so there's a huge opportunity in that. All right, so I think we're going to close it out pretty soon. I don't know if Ian's back.
Yeah, no, I was listening to that. It was great, and yeah, everyone's coming from a different spot, or each person is currently at a different spot. So whether you're new or you've been here since day one, 6-7 months ago, hey, we appreciate all the support. Look, you got more than 70 people in here. We got 20 thumbs up, guys. Look, you click that button, it turns blue. Let's go, man. This is one of the best communities I've ever seen. And it's amazing to see it. Like, it's visible on charts. Guys, the success that we've had in this channel, we now move charts. We move charts. Let's move that like button, guys. 70 people in here right now. I want to see that like button over 50. Like, the bigger we grow this channel, the more beneficial it is for everybody. And that does, we were mentioning PSI earlier, right? And we had this pump. You let your Patreon know and it pumped. I mean, I looked, the market cap was 1.4 million when it was at $300. And I got a daytime job. I was working. I didn't have time to, I seen your video go up, and I didn't, I missed this. Okay, I missed this. And it pumped, right? And go ahead.
Oh yeah, my plans with what we're doing here is, like, we're operating as an entity. Obviously, I got to say, no, non-investment advice. I can't recommend anything. But if we operate as an entity, we could be one of the most powerful, hedge funds out there. Like we saw what happened with Reddit, right? But we can see the world we want to, like that. We can see the opportunities. And one of the things I want to do is bring in like a math guy and do a matrix analysis. And that would be just, if we can get enough cash flows for this, we can bring in that math guy. And
no, absolutely. And by growing the channel, it's not like, oh, now we can do more pump and dumps. No, you grow the channel, you get the algorithm going, so people find out about these good projects, right? It'll catch the eyes, and it's good for everybody. If these are good projects, it's by bringing on interviews and stuff, and really doing deep dives and learning about these projects, it's like free advertising for them. And if they're good projects, they'll catch wind and they'll set sail, and it's just easier to do, to get these projects into that light, But so my friend mentioned it. So I wanted to kind of touch on this because I got a text today, and then I seen similar comments in the Telegram group. So I know people have this on their mind, that like, oh, the Patreon group got in first, so now I missed the boat. I had friends texting me this. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna join the Patreon because I missed this. Guys, that's not the idea here. Okay, the Patreon is here to support Mike and what he does. Like, I see people in the chat, hey, can you check out this coin? Can you check out that coin? Absolutely, man. We're happy to start diving into projects. We're gonna start trying. There's so many out there. We try to filter and give Mike. We try to have Mike spend his time on quality projects because he spends a lot of time doing this. So that is why there is a Patreon, right? So he can spend more time. You can support him, and he can spend more time researching these projects. So I seen some mention in the chat.
I even want to just get, like, if I can get it to a point where I can bring in a math guy for this, and we could,
that too. Yeah,
I just want to
absolutely
see it happen because, then it's game over. Like
Yeah, like the idea of the Patreon is it's not a pump and dump thing. It's not a signal group. That's not why you're joining the Patreon. These are OGs that have been here for 6 months. They've seen the success and they want to support you and they're happy to do it, Patreon. Check the link out down below. Thumbs up. Hey guys, 36. Let's go. 36 likes, 75 people watching. We're almost at 50. Before we shut this off, I want to see 50.
We're about to close it out pretty soon, but yeah, I'm excited about the future. I think we're ready for another couple legs up. I'll keep you guys informed in the Patreon, like what my moves are. I even made a big move recently, and I'm excited about that move. See how it pans out. I think it will pan out. I've made moves.
There was some question. Maybe you're running out of time, but I did see a lot of questions in here in the chat. I don't know if you wanted to try and go through any of the chat or.
Yeah, maybe I should.
One last comment I did have on this, to my friends, to anyone asking, did I miss the boat? Did I miss the boat? Hell no, I jumped on the boat at the top of this. I did. I got in here at the top. I'm not worried about that, guys. Mike does good research. I trust the fundamentals and I respect the TA. Okay.
Yeah. So this team is we'll interview them and see what we learn.
Come on, let's go. 10 more likes, boys. Let's go. 10 more likes.
Do you want to look at
Mike can go do more research?
Do you want to read into a couple of the coins that people are suggesting?
Yeah. So I did see some questions up top. I think there was a really good question. It was a comparison between, I believe, Kusama and Algorand. I don't know if you've seen that one or mentioned it. He said
so I'll do
they have similar market cap. Why does Mike think it has another 5 or 10x, but only a 2x on KSM?
Well, okay, so KSM, first of all, just went through a big run. So, I mean, but I love KSM. Don't get me wrong. I love that project, and I'm still holding a huge amount of it. Let me show you something. Okay, so I'm just doing some. Let me put this on the main screen so you guys can see it. All right, so we're going to go to... But I do have, information down the line from Algorand, and when the universe throws something in your direction, pieces of information, you gotta act. Even if you're going in one direction, you got to change course, and that's what our brains are for, the human specimen. We get on our paths, but you have to be ready to turn that wheel if you see some information. There was 3 pieces of information that came to me all at the same time about Algorand. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, first piece of information was the Lex Fridman podcast out of nowhere, and I was like, man, I gotta look at Algorand because I trust Lex Fridman's judgment of people. So I just wrote a big Algorand note, and I forgot about it. And then I get a call from a source, and he's like, man, there's stuff coming down the line for this. Take a look at it. And then because of that, I do my fundamental analysis, and it is a strong project. It has solved the trilemma. It's one of those projects that has done that. There's not many that have. And all of these projects are going to be inundated with customers. The services that they're providing means that they are going to be overflown when the people start flowing into this. And this right here is the Algo Kusama comparison. I mean, look at that. So I'm like, all right, I'll switch into this right now. And so I love Kusama, but sometimes you gotta take profits. So yeah, Professor X, right? So if you got nothing else for me,
well, in summary, yeah. So did you forget what the original question was?
No, man, my mind just runs when I.
No, I love it. That's why live streams are great.
Yeah, it's just we're doing it live.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if you got to go. I think there was some more questions. If anybody has any questions, hey, now's the time. Throw them out there. Join the Telegram where we can continue conversations there.
Yeah. So
it's all free. Look, all the content's free, guys. The Patreon's just a way to support Mike, guys. Mm-hmm. And so he can grow the channel, like he said. So,
wow.
That was a question. Somebody asked what math analyst you need. Did you already answer that?
Yeah. What I'm going to do is if we get that Patreon up to like a regular income, I'm gonna just turn it all into one person's income, and I'm gonna turn that into a guy who does matrix analysis. Okay, someone who's gone up past calculus 3 and done linear algebra and done complex mathematical analysis of matrices. Okay, and if we get a matrices analysis of the key indicated spots in crypto, we could create a map analysis of correlations. Okay, correlations, nothing more than statistical probabilities that allow for us to draw a net of what's going on. Okay, and so like you see my videos of these webs of interrelationships. Well, if we can add math to it, we can turn it into an AI engine, and then we could use that AI engine to help us, and create a model that helps predict. AI is just math, helps us predict, and then it's just we're going to be, what we're doing right now, we'll be turning into constant home runs. Okay, so, and that would just be behind a small little $10, whatever wall, and it would just fund the most insane thing we could do. So I like mathematics. I like applying math to stuff. So, but I think I'm ready to go. I got some other research I got to do tonight and get to it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Just I can finish up. There was one last question here that was asked. How low do you think KSM will drop? Now, we did cover this earlier. We don't know. My best guess, I tell you what, if it goes to that golden pocket or that retracement, that's where I'm looking. I'm looking for down here. Will we get here? I don't know. But I'll tell you what I'm looking for is whatever the data shows me. But ideally, maybe we come down and form a nice double bottom. Hey, and then I can get a better idea that, hey, and I'll have more data to reevaluate, and then we'll come back at you with the next live stream. I'm sure I'll have more data, more update. We'll see where KSM goes. Yeah, it's definitely down 469. I mean, guys, this is already down the almost 18% roughly.
I mean,
from its high.
Yeah, and I don't use I trade mostly on fundamentals, but right now, looking at Algo versus Kusama, I mean, look at that RSI. So I mean, that's 4 pieces of information.
On Algorand, yeah.
Telling me,
yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with what the world's telling me,
and what I'm seeing, money flow Kusama. Coming back in.
I love Kusama, I love Algorand, but I'm just balancing between them because they're both awesome. There's so much awesomeness in crypto. But yeah. I just love it. I love the space.
But hey,
yeah.
We appreciate everybody that showed up, guys. Come on. There's 2 people I know that can click that button.
I'm glad you guys are
for
here.
Us.
Glad
48 likes.
This. The goal is to get these guys results. That's at the end of the day. That's all that matters. All right. But
2 likes. Let's go. 2 more likes.
Let's check out. We're going.